You walked out of a client meeting 40 minutes ago. You remember the main point. You remember they mentioned a deadline. But the thing that actually mattered, the offhand comment about why they almost canceled last quarter, that's already gone. And your notes say, Q3 concerns, follow up. That's not a memory problem. That's a tool problem. Most AI note-taking apps on iPhone right now do the same thing. They transcribe what was said. They clean it up. They hand you a wall of text. And you still have to do the one job that actually takes brain power, figuring out what it meant, why it mattered, and what you're supposed to do next. There's one app almost nobody in professional circles is talking about yet, and it doesn't just capture what you said. It captures context, the intent behind the words, the decisions embedded in the conversation, the action that should exist, but nobody said out loud. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what the app is, how it works on a real client call workflow, where it breaks down, and whether you should pay for it today or wait. No fluff. Let's get into it. The app is called Limitless. And before you say you've heard of it, I want to be specific about what version we're talking about. Because there was a pivot in late 2024, and most reviews you'll find are covering the old product. Limitless started as Rewind AI. It was a Mac app that recorded everything on your screen and let you search your own memory. Good concept, massive privacy concerns. They relaunched as Limitless in 2024 with a fundamentally different approach. They built it around a wearable pendant that clips to your shirt or sits on your desk, and an iPhone app that works with or without the pendant. But here's what most people miss about how it actually works. Limitless doesn't just transcribe. It builds what they call a personal context engine. Every meeting, every call, every conversation gets indexed, and the AI can pull threads across all of them. So when you ask it, what did we agree on in last Tuesday's call with the product team, it doesn't just search a transcript. It reasons across your history and surfaces the decision, the person who made it, and the conversation before that conversation that led to it. That's a different product category than what Otter or Fireflies is selling you. On pricing, here's where it gets interesting. The app itself is free. You get unlimited transcription, unlimited storage, basic AI summaries. The paid tier, which is $12 a month, gives you the full context engine, cross-meeting reasoning, and integrations with Notion, Slack, and Calendar. The pendant hardware costs $99 one time and works with the free tier. So who is this actually for? If you bill by the hour, run client calls, do sales, manage projects across multiple stakeholders, or work anywhere that who said what in which meeting is a real problem, this tool is built for you. If you're a student capturing lectures, or someone who just wants a quick voice memo cleaned up, honestly, Apple's own voice memos with a summary shortcut does that for free. Don't pay for Limitless if that's your whole use case. Which meeting type do you lose the most context from? Drop it below. I'm genuinely curious what workflows people are trying to solve. Alright, real workflow. I'm going to walk you through 3 things that Limitless does that other apps either don't do or do badly. And I'm going to show you where it actually fails, because that part matters more than the demo. Feature 1. Live meeting capture with context threading. When you start a capture in the app, it's recording audio locally on your iPhone. No callbot joining your Zoom. No weird Otter AI has joined the meeting notification that makes your client uncomfortable. It just runs in the background while you're on a call. Here's where it separates from every other app. When the transcription processes, it doesn't give you a flat summary. It gives you what they call meeting intelligence. That's decisions made, action items attributed by speaker, unresolved questions that were raised but not answered, and a sentiment flag if the conversation shifted tone. That last one, unresolved questions, is worth pausing on. In a 40-minute client call, there are on average 6 to 8 questions raised that never get a direct answer. Someone says we should probably figure out the budget timeline, and then the conversation moves on. Standard transcription buries that. Limitless surfaces it as an explicit gap. That single feature has saved real client relationships, because the follow-up email you send the next morning actually addresses what was left open, not just what was resolved. The limitation here is speaker identification. Limitless does speaker diarization. It separates voices, but it doesn't reliably label them by name unless you manually tag speakers after the fact. Otter does this better on Zoom calls specifically. If accurate named attribution in the transcript matters for your legal or compliance workflow, Limitless is not ready for that yet. Feature 2. Cross-meeting memory search. This is the context capture the title is actually pointing at. And most reviewers don't test this properly, because you need at least 2 weeks of real meetings in the system before it starts showing its actual value. When I type a natural language question about something from a meeting 3 weeks ago, Limitless doesn't just keyword search the transcript. It pulls the relevant passage, gives me the speaker, the timestamp, and then, this is the part that's genuinely different. It shows me the adjacent context, the 2 minutes before and after the moment, because the meaning of a statement almost always lives in what surrounded it, not the statement itself. Think of it this way. Most note apps give you a photograph of what was said. Limitless gives you the film strip. And when you're trying to reconstruct why a decision was made, or defend a scope of work to a client who remembers the conversation differently than you do, the film strip is the only thing that actually helps. Tested this on a real scenario. A contract dispute where the client claimed they never approved a specific deliverable. Pulled the Limitless capture from the kickoff call 6 weeks earlier. The approval was there. 3 sentences. Clear. That's not a feature. That's liability protection. If this kind of deep context capture is something you want more of across your whole workflow, subscribe. Every week, we test one tool on a real professional scenario. Not a demo, not a sponsored walkthrough, a real test. Feature 3, calendar integration and pre-meeting briefs. This is the one feature I almost missed in my first week with the tool, and it's now the one I use every single day. Limitless connects to your calendar. Before a meeting starts, it generates a pre-meeting brief that pulls from every previous conversation you've had with those attendees. It surfaces the last 3 things you discussed, the open action items from prior meetings, and any commitments you made that are now overdue. For anyone who runs more than 5 recurring client relationships, this is the thing that makes you look like you remember everything. You don't. Limitless remembers. You just show up prepared. The limitation is the calendar integration setup is genuinely annoying on iPhone. It requires granting full calendar access, and the first sync takes anywhere from 20 minutes to a couple hours depending on how many historical events you have. It's a one-time setup cost, but it's not smooth. The Android version reportedly handles this faster. Worth knowing before you commit 20 minutes to troubleshooting. The Notion and Slack integrations work the way you'd expect. Meeting summaries push automatically. Action items can map to a Notion database. It's not magic, it's clean plumbing. And clean plumbing is underrated. One more edge case worth naming. If you're in a state or country where 2-party consent for recording is required, you need to disclose your recording before you start. California, Illinois, and 12 other US states have 2-party consent laws. Limitless does not handle this for you. The app records. The legal disclosure is your job. Don't skip it. So, who buys this today? Who waits? And who should skip it entirely? Buy today if you run recurring client relationships, sales calls, or any meeting where who said what and why comes up more than once a month. The cross-meeting memory alone is worth the $12. The free tier with a pendant is worth trying before you spend anything. Wait if you've been using Otter or Fireflies for less than 6 months and you're still building the habit of reviewing meeting notes at all. Limitless is a more powerful system, but it rewards people who already have the discipline to close the loop after a meeting. If your Otter summaries are sitting unread, Limitless summaries will sit unread faster. Skip it, at least for now, if you need airtight named speaker attribution for legal, compliance, or HR documentation. Otter AI with Zoom native integration is more reliable for that specific use case today. Limitless is catching up, but it's not there yet. Here's the counterintuitive thing about this whole category of tool. The best AI note-taking app isn't the one with the best transcription. Transcription is a commodity now. Every app gets the words right. The differentiator is what the AI does with the words after. And on that dimension, in early 2026, Limitless is ahead of everything else on iPhone by a meaningful margin. That's not a paid placement. We don't do those. That's a verdict based on 6 weeks of real client calls run through this system. The app is free to download. Link is in the description. Try the free tier for 2 weeks on real meetings before you decide anything about the paid plan. That's the honest test. What tool should I review next? If there's something you're using or something you've been burned by, drop it below. The best reviews on this channel come from that question right there. And if you want to see how Limitless stacks up against the dedicated pendant recorders, the Plod note pin specifically, that comparison is already up. It's the next video. The answer might surprise you.